Are you ready to stop searching outside yourself and deepen the connection that matters the most?
Welcome to the Sacred Exchange podcast. We are your hosts, Jon and Catherine Graham.
After years of navigating our own spiritual paths, we have learned that true transformation doesn't happen overnight. It happens in the honest and vulnerable moments when we are willing to journey within with a curious mind and heart.
Every week, we invite you to journey with us as we share our spiritual ahas, our raw truth, and deepen our understanding of the human experience.
This is a space of vulnerability and healing, where souls meet, hearts transform, and love leads the way. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of The Sacred Exchange. We are excited to talk to you guys today about being seen, being witnessed, and being felt.
Yes, I don't know, for me, from what I've seen in the last little while, is see a lot of people that's just what they want. They want to be seen.
Yeah.
And it comes out in a bunch of different ways, right? Like maybe it's somebody that's angry or somebody that's sad, or it just appears in different ways. And really, they just want to be seen.
Yeah.
They want to be witnessed. I know we've talked about this before, and it's just people really just want others to acknowledge their existence.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think the ability to be recognized for who you are, for what you're doing, even if you have like the sadness that's coming up and the sadness is wanting to be seen, it's like truly wanting to be recognized for the pain that you're carrying, or truly wanting to be recognized in anger for all of maybe the protection that you have to give yourself or whatever. I just don't think for a lot of people's experience that they're able to go, I just need to be seen in this, or I just need to be witnessed in this. It's so underrated in our society to be able to create that for people.
Oh, I agree. It's and it comes out in different ways, right? Like just witnessing life and seeing people in different things. You see it come out in, like I was saying, somebody being angry, and the lengths people will go to be seen, to keep up a narrative, to be seen.
Yeah.
To do things they don't want to do, or to do things that they wouldn't do just to belong or to be seen. Yeah.
Well, and I think that goes back to like a very foundational wound that many of us carry, and we don't necessarily recognize that we carry it. But that sense of belonging goes back to like tribal days, where to not be in that kind of tribe back then was actually like the ultimate survival default, right? If you don't belong with your tribe, then there's a good chance you're not getting food, you're not having shelter, you're not having heat. Like they all work together to create survival back then, and our brains are now hardwired that if we're abandoned by people, or we're no longer belonging with people, that we're ultimately going to die. And it's really not the case. We can survive on our own nowadays. But I think that's a fundamental piece of that being seen, is like, look at what I'm contributing, right? Look at what I'm bringing to the table, and ultimately just see me, especially when it comes to that pain that's wanting to be witnessed. It's, can someone see this? Yeah.
And another question I have, do you see yourself? We are so busy spending time, or people are spending time, and this is another prime example, right? Here we are, we're doing a podcast. Yes, we're trying to put out a message.
Yeah.
But we want to be seen.
Yeah.
But are we seeing ourselves? Do you actually see who you are? Or are you seeing what you're trying to portray to others to be seen?
Yeah.
Really looking in the mirror. I know we talked about, or we had a conversation about this, about, looking in the mirror and frowning and telling you, I'm going to stand here until you smile.
Yeah.
Right? And that's one of those things. It's like, you're being seen by yourself through that mirror, but really, are you seeing that essence of you?
Yeah.
And I think that whole, you could stand there in front of the mirror and all day and
frown at it.
Yeah. And it's not going to change.
Yeah, you can't force your reflection to do anything different than what you're putting out there. So if I'm smiling at the mirror, the mirror is going to reflect back that smile. And if I'm scowling at the mirror, then the mirror will reflect back that scowl.
Yeah.
And I think you bring up a great part about seeing yourself, because it is an inside job. And because we're so focused on out here, right? We've all learned how to perform in order to receive love, in order to receive recognition, in order to be noticed by our bosses, or whatever the case might be. It starts, way back in childhood.
Yeah.
And we're not taught to go within ourselves to be like, are you okay with who you are?
Mm-hmm.
Are you okay with what you see within yourself? Are you okay with what you're expressing? And if you are, awesome. But if you are not, if you're having experiences that are causing like tension or deflation or collapsing or anything like that, it's a really great opportunity to go within yourself and go, what part of me is trying to be seen right now? Or in what ways am I hiding? Because I know I've hidden a lot in my life.
Yeah, I think we all go through that. And I also think we all get to a point where it's like, I need to take off the mask, or I need to like polish this up, whatever. I need to be real.
Yeah.
Right? I need to not placate to this, and be all of these different things. I need to be me.
Yeah. Yeah. And what is me?
Yeah.
Right? What does that look like? And it's literally stripping away all of those labels and all of the kind of default settings that you have to go, is this who I want to be?
Or is this who I was made to be, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. What is my true identity?
Yeah. Yeah. And that, I think we both started on a journey back in 2020 of really looking at, is this something I want to believe in or not?
Yeah.
Is this something that I want to continue to believe to be true or not? And we were really pulling back a lot of the belief systems and a lot of the thought structures that we carried and going, like looking at them and going, is this what I want to continue to believe?
Yeah, we questioning everything, right? Where did this come from, and why do I have this belief, or why don't I like, I don't say tomatoes or mushrooms, whatever, eggs. Where did that come from, and is it my truth, or is it someone else's?
Yeah.
And is this what I want to be? Is this how I want to be seen?
Yeah.
But, whatever.
Yeah. And I think at this point in time in our society, when there's so much AI stuff that's out there, the more real we can get with ourselves and the more in touch we can get with our humanity, and express that out in the world, I think the better off we will be.
Yeah.
We're kind of at this kind of crossroads, and I enjoy AI. I think it's great. And yet it can't function the same way a human does.
No.
It doesn't have the layers or the depths of what a human does. And the more each of us are able to express these parts of us that we've kept hidden, and these parts of us that we've allowed to not be seen, or that have struggled to be seen, to actually come out and be witnessed by others, I think the more healing and transformation we can actually go through as a society.
Yeah. I agree. The whole being seen part is it's interesting, right? Like when you can observe this every day.
Yeah.
And what I find even more interesting is that you can, as somebody that's observing somebody that wants to be seen, you can, I don't want to say you can play into their narrative, or you can kind of call them out on it, right? I see you.
Yeah.
And
see, I think that's actually the same thing. It's like, it's not calling them out and it's not playing their narrative. It's just simply giving them exactly what they're asking for. I see you.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying you can play along the game of, oh, you're gonna act like this, okay, da 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 da, and not really acknowledge that they're wanting to be seen.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That they're doing all of these things to try and get some sort of attention, and you're just kind of going, yeah, okay, whatever. You're just doing this.
Yeah.
But instead going, no, I see you.
Mm-hmm.
It really, and I've seen it before where when you do something like that, it does throw people back a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, do you see me, or are you seeing this mask that I'm portraying?
Yeah.
You know, when I see you, is very powerful, I think.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. One of the things that I used to actually teach when I was running a lot more classes and stuff is that there's like 4 fundamental needs that we have, especially like for our inner child. We want to be loved, we want to be seen, we want to be heard, and we want to be understood. And so when we have like those kind of egoic thoughts or those wounded thoughts that are popping up, right? A lot of times our very first reaction is to be like, I need to shut this down. This is not who I am. Yeah. But those parts that are coming up, they kind of remind me of like a toddler or a young child that's like, Mom, yeah. Mom, Mom, Mom. And you're like, oh my God, what do you want? And, you know, maybe you can act like that towards that wounded part and be like, why are you doing this? Or you can stop like you do with a child and go, yes, honey, what do you need right now? You know, and you get down to the toddler's level. Yeah. You make eye contact. You feel whatever need that they're having. You listen to what they're saying and you give them love in that moment. And most often, in my experience of raising enough children, once you give them that moment, they feel seen, they feel heard, they feel loved, they feel understood. Mm. They're going to stop going, Mom, Mom, Mom. Yeah. And we have to do the same within ourselves, and we can do the same with other people. Yeah. How do they need to be loved right now? What are they needing to express right now, and how can I hear them? Can I understand them? Can I see them? And
I think the approach is very similar for adults, where it's like, okay, you know, I see you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me what you need, or tell me, like, you know, really, it sounds bad because you almost sound like you're talking to a toddler, but it's really,
it's powerful.
Yes.
Like there's been so many times in our relationship when I've been in these kind of wounded parts or whatever, and you've grabbed my hand and you look me in the eyes and you're like, I see you. Mm-hmm. I know, or whatever kind of comforting messages that you bring to me. And it's so powerful. You know, you're not trying to fix the situation. You're just simply holding that space and witnessing me in that moment, which is what the actual healing is all like. It's what it's all about.
Yeah. Yeah, and I understand that you can't, I was going to say, you can't see people, you can't give people that moment all the time, but try to. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know everybody's got a busy life and, you know, people are coming and going and this and that, but when somebody's really showing some sort of, and it doesn't have to be erratic behavior, but some sort of behavior where you get that, if you get that urge that, hey, this person wants to be seen, just stop, take a few minutes.
Yeah.
And really see them and tell them that.
Yeah. Well, and I think you can kind of move through your day very intentionally trying to do that, going like, I'm going to, you know, take this extra time. I know, like, when our son gets home from school, does he always want to talk to me? No. Sometimes he's just like snack up in his room. He needs some cool down time or alone time or whatever. But I always create that space that I'm available in the fact that he might want to have a conversation, right? And so I think, yeah, everybody's lives are busy. And it's not always easy to just stop everything that you're doing and go, this person needs me right now. But if you can just move intentionally to go, every encounter that I have, I'm hoping to connect.
Yeah.
You know, I'm hoping to be able to witness whatever it is this person is needing to be witnessed right now.
Yeah, and I would say if you don't have the absolute time to spend and have that moment, there is little things you can do. Just that acknowledgement, right? I'm here. I see you.
Yeah.
But yeah, some sort of something to just let the person know, hey,
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah. And so I'm going to ask you, because I know for myself, I go through experience of like, I just want to hide from the world.
Mm-hmm.
And also I just want to be seen by the world. So what would you say are your catalysts for wanting to hide? And what are your catalysts for wanting to be seen? Or have you noticed a pattern or...
So I thought about this kind of this week, right? Is
Yeah.
what does it mean to me, like for me to be seen, and do I want to be seen?
Yeah.
And I toss this around a bit, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, everybody wants to be seen and recognized and whatnot. And do I see myself? I think so. I think myself and myself have a good relationship. But no, I came to I would say I don't want to be seen, but I'd rather be felt than seen.
Okay.
Right? So, yes, you can see me, I'm doing all of these things. I'd rather leave this world leaving a feeling in somebody than being the popular person or whatnot.
Okay.
I'd rather that I leave with something that's in people's hearts
Yeah.
than a flashy whatever, a car or whatever the case may be, or some good impression. Like I want that feeling,
Yeah.
that that remembrance of, oh, that was this person,
Yeah.
not, oh, they look this way or they whatever they
It's so interesting that to be seen for you is like very much stuck on this external like objects or like the way you look or whatever.
Well, I mean, you can take that as a physical thing, or you can take it even deeper, right? So when I say that is like, I want to be seen, and not just for this, but the things I've done and this, that, sure.
Yeah.
But I'd rather those things mean more to people's hearts than just
the actions.
just the
that
accolades
you've
of, oh, you did this and you did this and you did this. Sure.
Yeah.
But what did it mean to you? And how did it help you?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But I mean, again, I too want to be seen.
Yeah.
But I do find that I'm more like, okay, I'd rather do this stuff. I'd rather do whatever needs to be done to help those people.
Yeah.
Than be that, seen.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess for myself, like, to be seen for me is, I guess it's more about the light that I carry. Like, I want to be recognized for, I guess, my light, my vision, my heart. And for myself, I feel like it's not about performance, which is what a lot of my life I felt was based on, was performance and performative kind of being seen, and having that external validation. I know we've talked a lot about that over the past couple of weeks. So not that external validation, not that performance level love, but to just be seen and witnessed for essentially who I am and who I strive to be, who I am becoming. Which is interesting because there's no structure to that. Do you know what I mean? It's the idea of like being felt. There's no structure to it.
Yeah.
I have no idea what the impact is of me being seen unless someone tells me, but I don't necessarily want to rely on someone to tell me, which means I have to reflect to myself, how am I seeing myself right now?
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Like, as much as we want to be seen, we want to be revered and all these things. I don't mind being seen, it took a long time for me to go on camera and us to have these conversations, which, whatever, that's...
Yeah.
But I have no problems with that. I have no problems being front and center. I have no problems being in front of groups, all that kind of stuff. But I would rather... I can speak the message, I can talk the talk, but I'd rather still them know I'm not just this, right? So it goes back to where you were saying about being seen on these different levels. It's, yes, you're a father, yes, you're a manager, yes, you're a spouse, but you're this.
Yeah.
And really being seen for everything that encompassing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting when you say, you've got no problem being front and center. I'm the same way. I've loved to be on stage since I was young. I used to want to be a famous singer. I've always wanted to be a famous author. I was very much looking for fame when I was a child. Mm. And Trevor Noah has this little video clip where he talks about his desire for fame when he was a child as well. And he said it wasn't until he reached his adulthood that he realized what that desire for fame was simply to truly be seen by others, to be known by others. And then he realized he just had to see himself and know himself. And that, to me, it was a aha moment for me, because I could see that who I truly was on the inside when I was younger. I had a really difficult time expressing that out in the world, but I knew how to do this performative stuff. Yeah. That got me the love and the attention that I wanted from specific people that I was looking
to get. Yeah.
Yeah. And so to pull back from that now and go, I'm just going to show up in my authenticity, and I'm just going to express in my authenticity. At first it was terrifying, and you've seen me go here I am, I'm away, here I am, yeah. I'm away, and I'll collapse in on myself in this kind of protective mechanism, thinking I'm not going to meet this bar or this standard that I think humanity has on me. And so I've been stripping away a lot of that to, again, fully be able to see myself and to see myself as enough, just as I am.
Yeah. Yeah. And I kind of question whether if more could be done in that sense. When I start thinking about homelessness, I start thinking about, addicts and this, that, and the other thing. And really, when it comes down to it, they just want to be, all of these problems, all of these people, all of these different, they just want to be seen.
Yeah.
They just want to be known.
Yeah.
And if there's more that we collectively could do as a community for each other to know that, hey, you're being seen, and just try to, combat some of these things through that love, or through that, to be just seeing each other.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think to truly witness each other, where it's if you do see, say, a homeless person, that you're seeing the divinity within that person, right? Yeah. A lot of us will kind of look at, say, a homeless person or an addict person, and we stick with that label.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a homeless person, or maybe there's a homeless man, or there's an addicted person, or whatever. And we stick with that label. But a lot of times we don't really look at, I wonder what kind of pain that person might be holding. I wonder what kind of separation they've had from the divinity within, that this is where their life has ended up.
Yeah.
And to remember that divinity within each of us, because we've all been taught to judge and label, and this goes in this category and this goes in this category. We talk to these people, we ignore these people, et cetera, et cetera. And to really ask yourself, can you see the divinity that's coming through everybody?
Yeah.
Can you remember the divinity within yourself to be able to see the divinity within everybody else?
Yeah. Yeah, it's, I don't know, it is one of those things that, don't forget where you came from, or I use that term because I see so many people that will start out very humble and then get to a point in, the ego grows and the ego takes over, and they forget. And I think the way I look at, different people is like everybody's got a story.
Yes.
Right? It's not, don't let your ego run wild so much that you forget that you could be that person, or you've been that person.
Yeah.
Maybe not to the extreme that whatever that situation is.
Yeah.
But we've all been broke. We've all been, in some sort of uncomfortable place.
Yeah. Yeah.
So don't put yourself so high up that you forget.
Yeah.
You had that. That is.
This day and age, like, we're all, one paycheck away from being the one that's living on the street.
Yeah.
Or from not being able to buy our groceries, or what, this world has been shifting so drastically over the past 5 years that it's everything that we've relied on for this kind of structure and stability, it could be gone in an instant, and it's so interesting to me too. I've always had a longing, desire to help the homeless. There's something about the homeless that it just absolutely has affected my heart in big ways. And a few years ago, it was right around this time of year, when there was a person who knocked on the door. Oh, yeah. And when I opened the door, there was a man standing there, and he had no shoes on. It's winter time. It's Canada. It's not a good time to not have shoes on. So he had no shoes on. His socks had holes in them. You could see his bare skin. It was probably minus 15 out. And I invited him to come, step into the house. I made him some coffee. I grabbed him a pair of your socks. I gave him one of our boys' pairs of shoes. And, he ended up sitting out on our front deck drinking the coffee. And I was trying to communicate with him and stuff because he did seem a little mentally distraught.
Yeah.
And he told me he had children and stuff. And when I asked him his children's names, he was listing off the numbers of his kids' names. So there was an imbalance that was there, or I wasn't understanding how he was trying to communicate. And whatever, it turned out to be fine. The school had already called, we live across the road from a school, and the school had already called the cops because he had entered the school as well. And then after he left the school, he came over to our house, and there was a teacher and another mom that were standing outside of the school watching him come over to our house, and they were waving at me, but I knew both of them and I thought they're friendly people, and I just waved to them when I opened the door and talked to this man. And I felt good about being able to help him.
Yeah.
But then when I took our son over to school that morning, all I got met with was so much judgment for opening my door to him, for giving him coffee, for giving him socks and shoes and whatnot, because it could have been a danger to our son, which I understand.
Yeah.
And yet, in that moment, the danger factor was not the highest thing on my radar.
Yeah.
Seeing his skin exposed in the snow, that was the biggest thing that was on my radar. And it was such a moment of reckoning for me, because I was kind of split in two, going, how could I close the door on him?
Yeah.
How could I just go, your suffering is totally okay and you need to stay that way? Instead, I don't know.
It's amazing how some things, people pick and choose who's
deserving.
Who can be helped, who can be seen, who shouldn't be seen because of their own disposition, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's been something that I've struggled with, because I don't know why I struggle with it, but I always feel like we just need to be loving, and there's a lot of experience that I've had where people have told me being loving is not the best thing to do. Being trusting is not the best thing to do. And I've been burned.
Yeah.
I've been hurt. And in that experience that we had, something bad could have happened, But I guess that goes back to, I want to be seen for my light. In that moment, I wanted him to be able to see my light, and in hopes of that he would remember his own light.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, and I agree. There is, a level there that it becomes like there's a level of discomfort when you are sharing sometimes. Not saying you specifically. I'm using in this example where it's like, okay, this could go, this could be bad, this could be good. And I think like you choose how much to give, right?
Yeah.
Or how much to see somebody.
Yeah.
And just going no and waving people off, you're not giving any.
Yeah.
And do I think, we have to gauge how much we give to people, like going back to this instance, you seen that person, they heard you, you spent a few moments, whatever. I think that's fine. Even to just say, hey, how can I help?
Yeah.
There, like I said, there's different levels, but waving people off and going, no, is not, I don't think is the greatest answer to
I don't think
scenario.
so either.
Even like when you're walking down the street and, say that somebody gives you a head nod or a hello.
Yeah.
I think it's only right to, I
Just
see
acknowledge.
you. That's, it's kind of, I see you. I see you.
Yeah, it's all about acknowledging.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, just to wrap up that story, because fast forward to last year and on my way home from the Camino, and I was at the airport for the evening, and I had read online that I could sleep on the airport floor. Like they welcomed people to sleep overnight at the airport. And I only needed 6 hours, like between the time my taxi was going to drop me off to the time that I needed to board for the flight. So I was like, I'll just sleep on the airport floor with all of the other travelers that are traveling. And so whatever, we're all, laying on the floor, and some people have sleeping bags and pillows and all of this stuff. And I was like, wow, like they're really prepared. I've got my jacket for a pillow and I've got my sweater that I'm using as a blanket right now. I'm not very warm. It's not very comfortable, but these people, they are prepared. And never thought anything of it. And there was a lot of us sleeping on the floor, like probably 75 people sleeping on the floor in various spots.
Yeah.
And at one point, a cleaning lady came and she said something in Spanish. I didn't understand. And I said to the man who had been sleeping closer to me, do you understand what she said? And then he said, yeah, she told us that we have to go down to the McDonald's because she has to clean the floor now, but we can come back in about 2 hours. And I was like, oh, okay. And didn't think anything of it, didn't realize there was a McDonald's that I could go hang out at. I was like, that sounds even better. And so we got up, and as we were walking, he said, like, are you traveling? And I was like, yeah, I'm on my way back to Canada, whatever. And I was like, where are you traveling from? And he's like, oh, I live here. And I was like, oh, I had no idea. And he's like, everyone that was sleeping on the floor, we live here. And so they did not question when I laid down with them, right? But if they all came to my house and asked to lay down on the floor, would I have been as welcoming to them?
Yeah.
It was such a beautiful moment for me to be able to be like, right, we're no different.
Yeah.
And they welcomed me in my crappy sleeping situation that I had. I mean, they looked like luxury to me when they,
had all their stuff. And,
yeah, so it's just interesting, I guess, to see both sides of the same world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And being seen or I think really what I want people to know is you are being seen, right? Like we can get into these moments where we talked about this last week, nobody likes me, everybody hates me or whatever. Yeah. And I'm all alone and you are being seen. You are being witnessed. Sometimes it's not the way we want.
Yeah.
And sometimes we need to pay more attention to what that looks like.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is, we want this attention or to be seen by this person. And meanwhile, you've got person B over here that is throwing themselves at your feet.
Yeah.
And you're not given that any time of day, right? We're surrounded by people and we're seen and witnessed in so many different ways. We just need to pay a little more attention to how those things are said and not just looking for a specific person or a specific group to see us.
Yes.
And what that communication is. And sometimes it's really, really slight, right? Sometimes it is a small little thing that a person will say that they're giving you that attention, and sometimes we just play it off.
Yeah.
And I just think we just need to focus a little more and know that we are witnessed.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we're not alone.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think just coming back to what you just said there about, focusing on, I want it from this person, and so we can sometimes have experienced like a devoid of being witnessed by, whether it's a parent or a partner or a sibling or a child or whatever. And even though we've got like 100 other people who are like, I witness this in you, I see this, we stay focused on that kind of negative factor and go, see, I just don't have it because of this
one, yeah.
And it's such a mind fuck, really, that we can keep ourselves in by continuing to focus on the one who can't give it to us.
Yeah.
And I'll often find that if a person is not able to give it to us, it's because they have never actually experienced that, right? We can't give what we don't know.
Yeah, I would agree.
And so asking someone to give you something that they're not capable of, you're just basically calling up an empty mountain, know?
It goes back to another discussion we had about expectations, right?
Yeah.
You're setting an unreasonable expectation on somebody. They have no idea how they're supposed to show up or what you actually need. Yeah,
absolutely. The other part I wanted to talk about when it comes to being seen is the being seen in the more uncomfortable parts, right? Because a lot of times we want to be seen, like we're on the podcast here, we're like, oh, hey, here we are, whatever. And, we're showing up as our best selves, or trying to anyways.
Yeah.
To be recorded and to be seen in this kind of energy that we carry. But if we were having an argument, we're often not going to videotape that part and show that to people. And a lot of us will hide all of these kind of uglier parts of our humanity to go, right, I'm not like that, I'm just like this. And it makes us so devoid of the full function of us as humans.
Yeah, we really need to show that duality, right?
Yeah.
You can't have good without bad. You can't have you can, but really you need to have contrast.
Yeah.
And you're absolutely right. Everybody wants to show up as the best self rather than just show up.
Yeah.
And you're not going to show up as your best self all the time. And we all have to realize that this is just...
Yeah, well, and I mean, we often hide those wounded parts, or when we're feeling wounded, when we're feeling sensitive, when we're feeling vulnerable or angry or whatever. It's so interesting where it's like all parts of me are lovable except for all of the parts that I keep hidden away. I don't want anybody to know that these parts of me exist. And I struggled with that for so long in my life, thinking I can't show anybody this, because in the past it had meant, you're cut off from relationships, you're cut off from communication, we're not going to love you like that, we're not going to accept you like that. And so it took a lot of courage, I'm going to say, for myself to be able to meet those parts. And you really helped with the anger part, because I had a really hard time expressing anger without allowing anger to completely take over, because anger was like, you're not allowed to be angry. And so I'd go into tears a lot, or I would stuff it down, and then just have this big explosion over something that was just like seemingly small or meaningless or whatever to other people. And to me, it was like that was the straw that broke the camel's back. But you actually invited me to get more angry and to express more anger. And you were like, come on, bring it. Bring it. And at first I was like, you have no idea.
Here it comes.
But having someone be able to witness that in you and to go, I still love you.
Yeah.
You know, whether you're angry, whether you're sad, whether you're depressed, whether you're anxious, whatever it is, to be able to have someone who's like, yeah, I see this in you and I love you.
Well,
this is welcome here.
You can be angry, but you're not your anger, right?
Exactly.
Like, we can witness and see this in people. People can be angry. It's okay to be angry. Not all the time. But if you're mad or you're having a hard time processing something, get that emotion out. If it's anger, if it's being sad or happy or delirious, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But then, get it out as best you can.
Yeah.
But then, again, I know I've talked about this before, is just really break that down and look at, okay, why am I angry? And just go through the motions of looking at it from a bunch of different perspectives and see if it really makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting because we saw that it was like a little info post that showed up on my Facebook about like the difference between the way men process emotions and the way that women process emotions. And for you go into a very kind of logical, linear way of processing the emotions where you're like, okay, so why? Why?
Yeah.
And it works really well for you. Where for me, I need to go in and I need to feel it and I need to bring words to whatever I'm feeling, which a lot of times is very metaphorical.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like this and and I can see what different experiences in my life have contributed to whatever emotion I've got coming up in that moment. But it's in the expression of this is the feeling. The more I'm able to express it, then the less kind of charge it starts to hold on to.
Yeah, and I think at one point, like that process for me has always kind of been there.
Yeah.
And I think at one point it would have been more, I don't want to say strategic, but going through that process, how should I behave in this situation?
So again, the performative.
Right, where now it's more of like, how is this affecting me?
Yeah.
Is this not correct, but am I spending too much time on something that is irrelevant? How is this energy being transmuted through me? I just look at a whole bunch of different things and not looking for the next strategic move. It's more of, okay, this is what's going on.
Yeah.
How can I learn from this?
Yeah.
What about this scenario and all these little pieces that are going on? How can I make this work for me, or not necessarily work for me? What does it mean?
Okay.
So I look at it from a bunch of different angles, right? It's
Yeah.
like, okay, if this didn't happen, well, why didn't this happen?
Yeah.
If this preferred reality didn't happen, why not?
Yeah. Yeah.
And just, like I said, there's a whole lot more than just the next strategic move. It's more of like, okay, what does this mean for the greater populace? What does this mean for just this journey? And how do I feel about that as well?
Yeah. I feel like I'm kind of similar when I talk about like the expression and the processing of the emotions and just allowing myself to feel it. Is like, as I look at, okay, so what earlier experiences did I have that are connected to this emotion, and bringing love and compassion to those earlier parts of me where those seeds were first planted, but then also looking at like the macrocosm of where is this else in the world that I've been witnessing it but didn't actually connect in to how this is playing out, and how does this show up in my relationship with you, or my relationship with my clients or the kids or my family members or whatever, to look at what is the truer message that's happening underneath here. And then a lot of times the way I receive the message is like in kind of a negative connotation, where it's like, right, the message here is my voice is suppressed. I have to stay quiet. And then I have to use my mind to shift that to go, my voice matters. you know, and this is what is needing to be expressed right now. And then taking action on that kind of final piece. But it is like this whole process where sometimes I feel like I'm one of those crazy people on the movies that has like the room with all the lines and the pictures and
this
stuff.
This is how this is connected. Oh yeah. So, and that's the image that I get some of the times where it's like, okay, this is the reason for this, and this is why this is, and it's okay this, but before you would have been like this, and it's, I totally understand that.
And sometimes even when I'm doing it, I'll like describe the emotions, and then I'm like moving the pieces. And
see, we see each other.
Yeah. Well, and the other interesting thing that we've been noticing more recently, or I guess getting more curious about, is when we're expressing to each other, are you being a mirror so I can see myself, and am I being a mirror for you? Yeah.
Really, what you're experiencing, is it for me to learn?
Yeah.
Right? So you could be going through heartache or heartbreak or anger or whatever.
Yeah.
And really, I need to pay attention. And that's another thing about this. It's like, you really need to focus or pay attention to these little subtleties of, okay, if this is a message for me, how now I take that.
Yeah.
And how does that apply? Where am I needing to, do some work or look at things a little differently?
Well, and I think it's the most untapped gift we all have for each other, is whatever I'm experiencing, everybody around me that's witnessing whatever I'm experiencing it, and however I'm processing it, has an opportunity to go, where am I the same in my life? And if you're the type of person, and I've been that type of person, that has witnessed other people and went, they should do A, B, C, or X, Y, Z. It's that perfect opportunity to go, am I doing A, B, C, and X, Y, Z that I think this person should just be doing?
Yeah.
And I've witnessed that a lot in the past year, where there's been different people in our lives that, we'll be having a conversation and I'll say, they need to let go of their fear, and then it's like, oh, right, I've been letting my fear stop me. And so everybody comes with these perfect messages for us, and whatever we think that's what they need to be doing, it's really a great opportunity for us to look at ourselves and go, I should probably start doing it first.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, it's not just us. Like, we talk about this mirroring, it's everybody.
Yeah.
So the next person that even a complete stranger, there's something being mirrored there that you should take in. It's really just, again, paying attention. It's okay. I mean, you can really spiral out of control and focus on every little single detail, but just be aware.
Well,
right?
I think there's the details that pop out.
Yes.
Yeah. Interestingly, Margaret Thatcher popped out for me 3 times in like the course of 2 days, and I really didn't know a whole lot about her, so I was kind of getting curious, like, who is she and stuff. And then when I was able to read about her, I was able to go, oh, I see, this is what I need to learn from Margaret Thatcher. I need to become very convicted, and become that leader that I want to be. So this is why she keeps popping up, because I think the world is designed in such a beautiful and divine way that everything that shows up and everything that we're witnessing is another little piece to the puzzle of understanding ourselves.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially because if this entire world is based on what you're kind of putting out there and what your soul light is creating, because we're all creators in our lives, then of course the world is going to show up back to you exactly what you are and exactly where you need to grow, where you're already doing a great job. Every single person has a different message for us.
Yeah, it was very interesting how the Margaret Thatcher piece came up, and just I can see, and I'm sure other people can see, just how important that is. Like, for me, knowing that it came into your field a few times tells me, okay, this, not that you need to emulate Margaret Thatcher, but she stood her ground. Yeah. She stood in her own, didn't care.
That's exactly what I took.
Was just, this is who I am.
Yes.
And see me, this is who I am.
Yes.
And yeah, just the fact that it came up more than once and you had no idea, I thought was like, that's the universe saying, or God saying, hey, I've already given you this piece.
Yeah.
And I'm going to show you again, and I'm going to show you again.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Yeah. And I mean, it's a message that I need to receive right now too. Stand your own ground.
Yeah.
You might be the person out on an island that everybody else is against. Stand your own ground.
Yeah, and we talked a little bit about that. We've talked a little bit about that lately as well. It's like, you have to be, we as individuals have to be strong enough to stand our own ground. Be comfortable be comfortable with being uncomfortable, and being comfortable being comfortable, right?
Yeah.
Like, not everybody's going to like you, not everybody's going to agree with you, and that is okay. There's nothing wrong with that, and there's no reason to not like somebody because they don't agree with what you're saying. It's just a perspective and their position on whatever the topic is, but be okay with it. Be okay with yourself.
Yeah.
See yourself and go, yes, I'm here.
Yeah.
And I'm standing in this, and I'm okay with whatever comes my way.
Yeah. 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 It's every generation or every decade or what, we've always had thought leaders and people who have been the first ones to do it, right? We need people who are willing to break the limits, who are willing to stand there while everybody else calls them crazy for thinking that you could fly, or for people protested printers of books when books first started to be published. People protested the telephone. People protested flying. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's always been people who have been against progression. And I'm talking about stuff from back then. I was actually just reading a post this morning about a woman, what was her name? Hildegard. I don't remember her last name, but she was like in the year 1079 is when she died, and was born, and then she died in like 1172 or something like that. Like, it's very, very, very long time ago. And she was the first woman to actually write about a woman's body being sacred, instead of the messaging that was at the current time saying that a woman's body was a defunct male body. Okay. She was the first to talk about female orgasm and female pleasure. She was the first to write about childbirth and how to actually take care of women in childbirth and stuff. And all of these men at the time were really trying to get her to shut up. You know, and going, no, she's wrong, she's incapable or whatever. But what she actually did was opened the door to a woman's body and a woman's health, at a time when everybody else was just going, no, a woman's body is just a bad replica of a male body. Yeah. Like, it's so messed up.
Yeah, I do think that is somewhat, or some of the differences, like, between, I don't want to put a good, bad, or indifferent, but those that can stand in that power, I think that's where you see the inventions come up, right? No, I believe in this. I'm convicted in this. I'm convicted that this is doing good.
Yeah.
And I've said this to you when we first started doing our podcast, is I care how many people see us, but I'm more concerned about the message that gets out to the rest of this world. Yeah. Through the camera, through the messaging that we have. Yeah. Right? And I'm convicted in that. Yeah. It doesn't matter if it's 1, 10 million. I believe that the conversations we have merit and do help people, whether we are seen or recognized for it or not. Yeah. And I'm a firm believer in that. Yeah. And I think that's the difference. We all have the capability of doing great things, but you got to stand firm. Yeah. In your convictions of, I believe in this, I believe, I trust. Yeah. And just kind of go with the flow, right? Like. Yeah. Yeah. There's a willingness that's required to be seen, to go, I'm willing to be seen as the most hated person in the room, because as much as I want to be seen, I have to be okay with whatever way people
are going to see me,
Yeah.
knowing that it's all based on their own perspectives. And that's where that conviction in the self and knowing of the self becomes so strong and powerful, because then it outweighs all of the other ways that people are looking at you or what they're thinking about you or whatever.
Yeah, all of that falls away, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm focused on this. You can, good, bad, indifferent, doesn't matter. I'm still here.
Yeah.
You could have 100 million, thousand, whatever views, or 0, it doesn't matter. I'm still focused on this, and I'm still wanting to do good.
Yeah.
And that's that's what really is behind it, is just that, that conviction, and your with all of what's in your body, just putting it into whatever that passion is.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, and it is, being seen is important, and I think we, as a society, we just need to pay a little more attention to each other and just pick up on those little cues of, hey, I want to be seen.
Yeah.
And give them the time. Sure, you're not going to be able to give everybody all the time that they want, but give the time.
It's interesting because I would imagine, I know last week when we were on the podcast, I was saying, it only takes 90 seconds to feel an emotion completely. And if you were to truly see someone, would it only take about 90 seconds for them to...
Well, I would say you're right, but some people want more time. They want to have this whole thing where it's, you can't give all of that. But if you can give 90 seconds, you're still going to give them that core, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I just wonder, because I know I've felt shifts, like you said before, where you're holding my hand or whatever, and you're like, I see you. It would be interesting to me for us to actually time that when I'm in an emotional state, and you're like, I see you, and you're holding that eye contact, you're keeping in touch with me, you're speaking whatever.
Yeah.
Or I can do the same for you if you're in an emotional state, to just notice how long does it take for the body to actually start to shift and the nervous system to actually find a sense of regulation when you're being witnessed in that way. Okay. It's a science experiment for us to test out, because I truly think if we can make someone feel seen in that 90 seconds or 2 minutes, however long it is, that bigger desire of they want to just keep it there or whatever, I feel like it would actually soften.
I agree. I don't disagree. I think the wanting to have more comes from a huge lack of being seen.
Yeah.
Right? So that container, well, I haven't been seen a million times, now I need to fill that up a million times to be seen.
Yeah. It's interesting because what we don't often realize, and it took me a really long time to understand, is that if I want to be seen by others, the only person I need to be seen by is myself. If I want to be loved by others, the only person I actually need to be loved by is myself. And yes, you've helped me learn how to love myself. Like I was saying before about these parts of me that I thought were unlovable, and you're like, no, that's lovable. And so I started to learn how to love that about myself, but it did come back again to a self factor, right? And we're so often looking to everybody else, fill my cup, fill my cup, fill my cup. Yeah. Meanwhile, we've got everything we need within us to be able to fill our own cups. Right? And I know there's aggravation that I've heard from people that are like, well, just for once, I'd like someone else to do it. I get it.
It does start here. And it's so... Sometimes it's so difficult to navigate that, but it 100% starts here. Yeah. And so much work can be done.
And I just go back to if our words create the world, right? Yeah. And the things that we speak. If I say I shouldn't have to love me, well, am I not just teaching everyone else that they should not have to love me? Yeah. If I'm saying I don't want to fill my own cup, Well, am I just teaching everyone else? If I don't want to feel it, why should you want to feel it?
Yeah.
You know? And even if I'm like, I don't want to receive love from myself, well, then am I even willing to receive love from anybody else?
Yeah, how quick we are to want to fix everything outside of us, right?
Yeah. Well, and to change.
Yeah.
Like, if you change and you change and you change, then I can be happy.
Yeah.
All of you are going to be extremely upset because now you can't actually express yourself in your truest form. You can't be seen, but you get to be seen the way I want you to be.
Yeah.
Which is just a really fucked up way of building relationships with people.
Yeah.
You know, where in a conscious relationship, I think it would look more like, I get uncomfortable when you show up in this way. I'm going to see what is going on in me that makes this part uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Do the inside job first. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. You have to.
You get to. That's
well, yeah, you better.
You know, because every time we say you should or you have to or whatever, I feel like everybody, I don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
Whatever. But when I tell myself, I get to. I have an opportunity to meet these deeper parts of myself. I have an opportunity to heal myself. I have an opportunity to shift my mind.
Yeah.
I get to do this. Why? Because I'm here. I'm on Earth. You know?
Yeah, it is absolutely the best way to put it. Is you get the opportunity to go deeper. You get the opportunity to, you know, test yourself.
Yeah.
To the deepest levels and that you can go, and it's
and
beautiful.
It's really letting go of so many different identities, right? Like, I'm not a person who accepts this in anybody, you know? And then to be able to become a person who can still witness the divinity in anybody that also does that thing that you once used to deny.
Yeah.
You know? I think it's so beautiful. It feels powerful inside to recognize old versions of myself and to go, wow, I'm not that anymore.
But you know how to interact with that, right?
Yeah.
Which is even great. It's powerful. It's like, I remember being that, and I remember what I needed at that moment that I didn't get, but now I have the opportunity to give it to this person the way I wanted to receive it.
Yes, absolutely. Awesome.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so thank you everybody for joining us here today for another Sacred Exchange episode. Yes. We look forward to connecting with you all again next week. Don't forget to
like, subscribe, comment. We'd love to hear from you guys. We're here.
Yeah.
And we'll be here next week.
Yes. Have a great one.
Bye.